Right, close your eyes. Relax the muscles of your body. Take a deep breath. Exhale. Let everything go and flow and roll. Remember the uplifting and positive energy in your life. Like really early memories. People that support you, that were positive moments that gave you confidence. Now look at the memory and the recognition who is looking at this consciousness. Like, look at the consciousness that is looking at this happiness that's inside of these memories. Look at the consciousness that is looking at the happiness, and look at the feeling of the happiness, and move between those two and see what the barrier is. Now, imagine there is this happiness moving through all of your memories, through all of your feelings, through all of your body parts, through all of your organs. Imagine this happiness would move through all of your body parts and organs. And relax again. Let everything just happen as it is. And look at this uplifting feeling and imagine if it spreads in every body part and every organ of yours, in every cell of your body. Now let's go. Imagine a vast black space, and there's this uplifting feeling still here. Consciousness is present, your consciousness is present. Imagination is present, creating that vast space. And now you're looking for psychological pain that you're having and frustration on an everyday basis. And now you're looking at the way you react to that, how you want to escape it. And look at the connection of frustration, and then the reaction, trying to escape the frustration on a regular day basis. Like, you have your own habits to escape the frustration, and maybe a few come to mind now. Now see what you're doing here. You creating another happy moment to escape the frustration. When you try to escape, when you're done with that, and you're back to reality, did this solve that which caused the frustration? Did it make anything better or worse? When you're honest with yourself, you see the frustration and it feels unbearable. Look at this feeling, how it feels unbearable. Look at this feeling. Just let it happen. And now recognize that you looking at this feeling is a wider space than this feeling itself, and this feeling is created by yourself, by your imagination. You are the origin of your feelings. It's your energy. You are causing your own frustration on an emotional level. What if you rather went to reality and solved the source of the frustration? Would this be a hard task for you? Just imagine now the everyday frustration you have, which you want to escape. Imagine a way how you're solving it. And now imagine this frustration being solved. Imagine a day without the frustration, and it's not in the back of your mind, you're just free from it. And if this makes you feel good, indulge in that. This is your life when you face the frustration instead of walking away from it. Maybe you have to do something uncomfortable to solve the origin of the frustration. And when you are doing this, when you're solving the origin of your frustration, recognize that you getting your power back. Now let's look at the other option, escaping the source of the frustration, giving the power that you have to the frustration and the escapism. Like, this is a really strong habit. We all have this. Look at the habit of escapism and the energy, the vast amount of energy that is used to maintain this escapist habit. Ritual. This habit has the power of ritual, and you cannot fight it. You're doing the same thing every day. Every day you have a new chance to live a new life, where you face the origin of your frustration and solve it, either by accepting it or by solving the problem, by letting go or by doing something, or you choose the escapist route that you already are familiar with. And the escapist route is trained very well. It's trained deeper than you can think of right now. This is like a tree root network in the ground that's really as old as your body is old right now. This is in your whole brain structure, in your body. The power of ritual, the power of habit. Recognize how old this is. Recognize how long you're going the path of the escapist. Recognize moments in your life where you faced frustration and you have, without recognizing it consciously, taken the road of the escapist. You've been walking away without letting go, sitting in the pain without resolving it. You haven't been cutting the ties. You haven't been taking the ties. You sat into the pain and just imagined it wasn't here. And it felt really good. Escapism feels really good. Remember a moment in your life where you've chosen the escapist route and recognize how good and how sweet it felt. And now recognize the problem in your everyday life that you ran away from. Now once again, has the escapist route solved the problem you ran away from? It felt sweet and good, but after you was done with your escapism, you was back to reality. You recognized again where you left before you have taken the escapist route. Has the escapism solved anything? What if there is a power that can guide you, that you easily face the root of uncomfortability, like the root of this terror in everyday life that you want to run away from? What if there is a power that can drive you, guide you, that you face the actual real problem, cut the ties or solve it, and then there is no need for escapism no more? Can you imagine that for a moment, please? You see, you alone are not strong enough to overcome years and years and years of habits and brain structure. But what if there is this power that can guide you within you? Imagine yourself facing these actual problems in your life and either cutting the ties or resolving it. Now on the other side, remember or look at a stupid way of escapism where you see clearly that it's stupid. Imagine a way of escapism where you actually recognize it's stupid and you wouldn't do it. Imagine that way of escapism. Now imagine, instead of solving your problem or cutting the ties, you would use the way of stupid escapism just to press pause in real life, be in a false heaven, and then press play again. And you still have your old problems, plus you have the problems that have joined the team while you've been idling, while you've been away in the stupid escapism. Does this feel good? Does this make sense to you? Or do you recognize that you just numbed yourself, passed out, been in a coma, came back, and you still have the same problems you had before, plus additional new problems because you was in a coma? Now, as alternative, imagine you having an everyday problem, frustration. Maybe imagine a past situation that frustrated you where you reacted with escapism. And now imagine if you didn't react with escapism and just went straight for the problem to solve it, without any distractions. Imagine that for a moment, please. and then press play again, and you still have your old problems, plus you have the problems that have joined the team while you've been idling, while you've been away in the stupid escapism. Does this feel good? Does this make sense to you? Or do you recognize that you just numbed yourself, passed out, been in a coma, came back, and you still have the same problems you had before, plus additional new problems because you was in a coma? Now, as alternative, imagine you having an everyday problem, a frustration. Maybe imagine a past situation that frustrated you where you reacted with escapism. And now imagine if you didn't react with escapism and just went straight for the problem to solve it, without any distractions. Imagine that for a moment, please. Now imagine a situation in your life right now where you have actually solved all these biggest problems that are troubling your mind right now, where you feel like tasks that you have to do. Imagine they have all been solved, just for a moment. How does this feel to you? Now, what option do you prefer? Facing and solving your problems even though they feel unbearable? Or choosing the path of escapism, numbing yourself, sedating yourself, going into an alternate reality, going into a coma? Which version of life do you prefer? And now when you make that choice intellectually, be aware that this is just like a tiny string, and on the other side is like this whole structure of your brain, the whole structure of society, the whole structure of your habits, that is based on escapism. Now recognize that the whole structure of society based on escapism does the stupid thing, not resolving the actual problem, not cutting the tie, not really walking away from it, staying in the problematic zone, doing nothing about it, going into sedation, into a coma, into hypnosis, into escapism, waking up from the coma, having the same situation, just worse. This is the structure of our habits, the structure of our psyche, of our life, of our society, of our brain. And it's really strong. You will close this talk, you will forget about it, and the habit will kick back in. Now on the other side, look at the inside you had before, where you either faced your problems or where you really walked away from it, that you don't wake up in another moment still having the problem, where the problem is really resolved. Like, this feels so good, doesn't it? This insight is so clear. It is so sane. And even though you recognize the sanity of doing the right thing, you will fall back into the habit. Because the habit is in your body, it's in your brain, it's in your way of thinking, it's in the society, it's fully present. And the inside, where you resolve a problem, is not so present. Where you just sit with the actual pain without walking away from it. That's not what we do. We don't face the problem usually. So you see, these two options, it's like one road. You have two directions to go, into escapism or facing the actual problem, or walking away from the problem, that there is no problem no more. Like just discarding the problem, just let that card fall and forget about it. Because when you are escapist, you also don't take care of the problem. It's also like discarding it, only that you wake up and you still have the card in your hand. So you have these two options: discarding it or going into frustration, escapism, hypnosis, sleep coma, waking up, still being frustrated. What seems more sane to you? And now be really honest with yourself. You would choose the insane option, wouldn't you? Because it gives you gratification, it gives you pleasure. When you're really honest with yourself, would you choose the sane option or would you choose the insane option? Would you choose facing the problem, looking at it, finding a way to deal with it, may it be acceptance, discarding, action, whatever? Or on the other hand, just pretending it's not here, escapism, substance abuse, whatever, something you do to walk away, being in hypnosis, waking up, still having the same problem, only worse. If you're really honest with yourself, you would choose the insane option, wouldn't you? Because that's what we do. And you need that honesty. Otherwise you can never be sane. And it's not an honesty that you use to face somebody else. It's an honesty you need with yourself. There is no sanity without that honesty. Sanity is not something that we acquire through performing better. Sanity is just us living with the world as it is, dealing with it. And the insanity is just the escapism, pretending it's not what it is, doing something to create pleasure, living in that fantasy reality, hypnosis state, coming back, having the same situation that I couldn't live with before, that I can't live with now, and it's even worse, it's even more painful. Recognize that we are choosing the insane option every moment. But what if I told you there's a power in you, a force that enables you to choose the sane option? It's not you smart, you doing it. It's you giving it up, like surrendering to that power, like letting go. letting that power take care of your addiction. There, I said it, addiction. But there's still another blockage, and that is the feeling of frustration and our own way of keeping it away from us. Now, if you have frustration in your life, you face it, you face the feeling, facing the resistance towards the feeling. Face the frustration first. Face the resistance to the frustration before that. Recognize that which is, because if you lie to yourself and you pretend it's not what it is, you will still be stuck in the same situation anyway. And then, when you face the frustration, there's some clarity, there's some understanding, there's some action plan, and now you can do something. You can discard the problem, facing the problem, doing something about it, and just see, oh, it's not an actual problem. I don't have to worry about it. I don't have to be frustrated in the first place. I can just live with it. But before that, you have to be fully with what is. That's that part, and that's a talk for itself. I will upload this. That was it for today. Thanks.